Okay. Just making sure that everything is set up as it needs to be. One moment. Just making sure that everything is set up as it needs to be. Okay, cool deal. So hello everyone. I am back playing Rappelz. As y'all can see, I've pretty much deleted all of my characters except for my main. And I have another character that I'm going to be working on that currently hasn't even loaded into the game for the first time yet. So today I've gone over like a couple of things that I've shown y'all the parallel world. I've shown y'all the hidden village. I did a walkthrough on Trinity Island, but I haven't really gone over the quest lines, like the actual important ones that you have to do. And I haven't really shown y'all the process of getting to Masterclass. I've shown y'all some gameplay as a Masterclass. So today, this is going to be a little bit longer of a stream than I normally do. I'm going to go from literally creating a new character to Masterclass. Now, I'm going to let y'all know right now that if I were to do this the traditional way, where I didn't use high-level pet from my main account, well, from my main character and stuff to kind of really help boost me along, this would take a lot longer, definitely. There are people who speedrun this who will go even faster than I do. They'll load into the game, and the first thing they'll do is they'll go into the cash shop, they'll buy a hidden village pass, they'll buy a bunch of stamina savers, growth potions, they will pop everything right at the beginning, they will go for it, and they will level up like 2 or 3 times as fast. And this process will probably take me a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours. They could probably have this process done in like an hour to an hour and a half. Of course, again, if you're starting out and you're new to the game and you're not trying to spend money on it and you don't have a high-level pet, this process will take you a lot longer than it'll even take me. But that is enough talking. So the first part of this, y'all have already seen Trinity Island. That's where we have to go. I'm not going to 100% Trinity Island. You can actually get out of it a lot faster. You can actually skip through most of everything on Trinity Island. That won't be important until later on when you need to start getting your talent points as Masterclass, and I will go through and I will explain that. But for now, I at least want y'all to see the main quest lines that we're going to have to do. The main quest lines start at level 50. They're the story quest lines that cannot be skipped if you want to be able to progress in the game at all. We have the Red Farm quest line. We have the Hunting for Witch quest line. We have the Sanctuary quest line. We have the Witch quest line part 2. And we have the Master Trials quest line, which is how you get to be the Master Class. After that, there are a series of other quests that you'll have to do. You'll have talent point quest lines, the Blessings of the God. Y'all have seen that in one of my other videos where it spawns the giant monsters and you have to kill them. The Underground Dungeons quest line, the Red Spider Circus quest line, the Ice Maiden quest line on Veiled Island, which starts around level 120. Then you'll start to have the Roa quest line, that's the Remains of the Ancients. That's a dungeon for 160 plus. The Devildom quest line starting at 175. And then eventually I will show y'all the Arena Points quest line, which is a daily quest line that will allow you to eventually be able to get an adventurer bag that goes into a slot that gives you extra carrying, extra like max weight for your carrying, extra movement speed, and I think slight buffs to your stats, kind of like the wings do. And it gets its own special slot where that goes. So there's a bunch of quest lines in this game, and there's a bunch of like miniature quests that you can just ignore. You can go grind in dungeons. But for now, it's already a couple minutes into my stream. Let's go ahead and just get to it. So I've created my character, and y'all will recognize the name Video Rafik. I think it just crashed. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So, like, because this game is so old, it has to run on a like a really low resolution on my computer. Like, my natural screen resolution is actually, you know what? I'm gonna look at that real quick. Yeah, my natural screen resolution is 3840 by 2160, and the game has to run at 1024 by 768. And it tends to mess a few things up, like when I'm trying to be online and have the game tabbed out and have Twitch running and do a bunch of other stuff while trying to run the game in the background. Um, yeah, there we go. I'm getting started back up, logging back on. Okay. There we go. Now, let's see if the music's too loud for y'all, because I have it like all the way down in my settings. Yet, it's like still incredibly loud, and I already have it on like basically mute. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's spawn into the game. Now, one interesting change they did make since the last time I did this is where I didn't do the skin color, the blue that I wanted, even though like it showed it blue. That's kind of annoying, actually. I'm gonna try this again. I don't know, but for me, like the yeah, like anyone else see that? How like it's blue on the it's supposed to be like blue anyway. Um and then like in game it's like this kind of like whitish color. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, let's go. I'm wasting enough time. Yeah, first hunt, very good. By the way, I'm going to be making this class a Dark Magician, going Chaos Magician, going Void Mage. Void Mage is like the top class in PvP. If you can get really good with them, then they can easily not only clear dungeons by themselves in late game with all of their basically evasion, but they also are one of the best classes in PvP for being able to dominate other people. And compared to my experience playing as a pet class, as a master breeder, where I'm pretty good at PvE, but you know I cannot PvP to save my life. Having a PvP based character where I can go into the high level stuff and be able to actually kill other people instead of always being the one being killed will be pretty fun for a change. And with a master breeder, you're really letting your pets do all the work for you, so you have their skills, and you're just letting them go and do their own thing. Whereas this is a much more active class. You'll still have your pet, but very much you'll be the one tanking. You'll be the one dealing the primary damage. Your pet will just be there to kind of support you instead of you supporting your pet. I opened up the party finder. I did not mean to do that. quest. And so just as you'll notice, like I'll end up like killing more things than I really need to early on. It's like the more experience you can get early on and the faster you can level up, and then the more of that experience can go towards higher levels. Like later in the game, you'll be primarily like the quest will give you your most EXP, more EXP than grinding, but like earlier in the game, it's the exact opposite, where grinding will give you way more EXP than the quest will. So that's why I'm killing more monsters than I really have to for these quests, and just killing extra monsters like on the way, just as a way to kind of level up quicker and meet the minimum requirements to get my next job even quicker, so I don't have to go and do more of the quests. That thing is a Death Tyrant. It's a unique tier pet in the classic pet system. They used to be, I mean, honestly, every time new unique pets drop, they're like the best. Because when they make pets, they always make pets that are way more overpowered than everything else, so everyone will want them and everyone will do anything they can to be the first ones to get their hands on them, and then it just kind of devalues all the other pets in the process. Unfortunately, that's been going on for way too long, and many of the pets in this game are just flat out worthless compared to their higher tiered companions. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just like pre-buy all of these skills, so when I get the quest to do so, oh, I ran out of job points. They'll already be done and I can just go through them. And yeah, all three of the different races have different starting areas. Mine is the Asura. You see that on the lava with the Panteras there. The Gaia have all the roosters around them, and the Diva get like all the like little birds around them. Oh yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier before I got sidetracked. See right here, I have a quest to turn in, but like it doesn't let me turn it in. You have to go to your quest and right-click and complete, do quest complete, and then they'll give you another quest, and then you can like complete that quest without even talking to them. And like it's the most like weird and random thing that they've put in, that you can do that instead, but sometimes it'll actually require you to. So it's just it's interesting to say the least. And yeah, as I've said, options, settings, like in my own earpiece, like the music is incredibly loud, but look at this, master volume. Literally, if I click it down like even a tiny bit more, it's completely muted. I can do the music down just a little bit more though. In the effects volume. I know on the stream the music's loud, but it's at least not covering out my voice this time. I've had that happen before. By the way, I should probably go ahead and put my mount here so that I can actually move faster. Speed is the name of the game. In this video, we're trying to get through it as quick as humanly possible. I say as quick as humanly possible without spending extra money. Okay. So we have to get, there's a couple of quests that we have to do in order to get the quests that we need, but not that many. Let's see, first class transfer. And yeah, the lack trader. Sure. meet the lac trader, I can literally just quest complete, and then I don't have to go do the quest for the first lac that I would normally go do. I can just equip that and say that I'm good. First class transfer, I'll need to pass a transfer test, and yep, I'm now level 10, and I need to go talk to job supporter Deneb. It was supposed to teleport me to trainee Tristan. Oh, it's because I'm not job level 5 yet. There we go. Okay. There we go. I hadn't bothered to buy job level 5 yet, so I didn't get the quest that then transports me exactly where I need to go. And then I just complete this quest, and then I have to go and kill the boss Anatima. Now, normally if y'all watched my actual like 100% Training Island walkthrough, y'all would notice that I would have done the class transfer. I mean, I would have done the first lac stuff. I would have come over here and I would have gotten a quest from Lancelot and from Fedora to go to Namaslavia, that ship over there. I would have got my meet the summoner and like get your first pet taming. And then there's an area back there where you have to kill Baron Mattias, and you have like your like actual field boss and like all this other stuff. But I'm skipping all that because I've done it a million times over in this game. I've made so many alternate characters in this game. Oh yeah, why am I not using my abilities? Yeah, so I forgot to start using my abilities, and I forgot to actually equip my chipping skill. So I nearly died because I just honestly was not paying attention. I was not thinking. It'll stop following me after a little bit. And then I'll put my skills on my bar, and then I'll kill it, and then we'll be done with this tomfoolery. Here, it wants to die so bad. Oh! I actually thought it was gonna finish me off there, but it didn't, so ha. 100% exactly according to plan. I knew what I was doing. I knew I was never any real danger. LOLOL. Yeah, with that, we literally just go turn in our quest, and you don't even have to be at the NPC to turn in your quest anymore, which is like weird. I already turned in my quest all the way over here. I didn't even bother to go up to the treehouse anymore because, you know, why would I? And oh yeah, you get a free 30 days of the hidden village. So I can go ahead and go to the hidden village. Actually, I'm a dumbass. I should have gone back to Training Island first and then came here, which that's exactly what I'm going to go do now. Training Island. There we go. And now all I have to do is go talk to job supporter Dened, get my class. What the heck? Oh, you have to accept a quest to go report back to Deneb. Okay. I have failed. I have failed this city. Okay, now I have to run all the way back. I thought I was being smart, and I'm like, I'm just gonna teleport back to over here. I'm not gonna have to waste my time running around. And here I am wasting my time running around because I decided to take a shortcut. So yeah, by now I should have already had my class and be done with Training Island had I just gone and talked to the stupid NPC and accepted the quest that to go back and report it. So yeah. No, I don't know. I actually like the first person. Sometimes it's kind of cool, but I don't know. There is something about being able to like see your character running and being in the background that I don't know. I feel like if I had a VR headset and I could like turn this into like a VR, I think that would be pretty cool, but I don't, and I'm pretty sure this game doesn't support it. I mean, this is a Korean MMO back from like what, 2006, something like that. A little bit before, you know. Yeah, you see it. Need to grab that. Okay. Now let's report to Deneb. Although I think I'm supposed to, I think actually, well, so I'm not high enough level to get job level 10 yet, but you can overlevel your character by getting max job level before you do your class transfer, and it gives you actually extra stats like extra health, extra damage, extra evasion, stuff like that. And I am planning on using this character in PvP, so I would rather not kind of like get myself like that by missing out on it. So let's go get a couple levels from just farming these monsters real quick. And yeah, that's one thing I was not taking into consideration, is it level 12. Come on, this is gonna... This is gonna take a while. Wonder if it does that on the first one though. I know when you're going to your second class, it tells you to do that. I don't know if it does it when you're getting your first class from Stepper though. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Let me go see. Honestly, the entire point of this video is not to try to massive level up in Training Island. Yeah, I can't. Dark Magician. Ish. Okay. So now I'm officially a Dark Magician. I am done in Training Island. I'm not doing all of the extra quests and stuff here for now. Eventually I'll need to come back and I'll need to do all of the quests when I need my talent points, but I don't really care about any of that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and we got this for leveling up. You get a free month of Hidden Village. So the first thing I want to do is I want, let's see, I'm at like 18% weight. I want to go to my warehouse and I'm going to go ahead and withdraw a little bit of money for my character. I don't really need a whole lot. just enough to be able to pay NPCs to teleport me around to places I want to go. I want 7 million. Or actually, I took out way too much. Oh well, again, the point is it doesn't matter. I need just a tiny bit. I can always put that back in. I'm not going to go spending it on random stupid stuff. Let's see, I want my deco pet. I want my actual pet. I want my... Yeah, the stuff that you get aren't really that great. I want my deco cloak, my own personal deco cloak. And where is my pet's armors and equips that I know I put in here? Here we go, here we go. 20 plus 8 plus shield plus belt plus earrings. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and put my pet in formation. We're going to go ahead and put my deco pet on my hotbar, skill bar, whatever you want to call it. And let's go ahead and start equipping that. And that. And that. And that. And now, aside from the fact I don't have any pet artifacts to put here, my pet's good to go. I do need to put my pet skills on the skill bar. And I need to organize them how I want them after I have them all out on said skill bar. Okay, let's go ahead and... Alright, I need to put my skills to summon my creature and recall my creature and chip and deep evasion and... Sure. All of that needs to go on my skill bar. Okay, now we're going to summon my pet. Honestly, Shadow Illusion is useless when you want your pet to be tanking, because what Shadow Illusion does is tries to prevent monsters from attacking your pet by decreasing its threat level, but I'd rather monsters be attacking my pet than me. It's going to use its Unity, it's going to have Elemental Harmony going, and honestly, I don't really think I'm going to need my encouragement for anything. But... So this is its primary heal. Has an 8-second cooldown. Minute and 30, 25-second cooldown. This one goes here. This heal goes here. So these are active skills that are used to heal. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and summon my loot pet. It's going to loot stuff for me. I'm going to go get hidden village buffs, which are pretty cheap. As I've said before, these give you like all the player buffs, so like all of the stuff from all of the other classes that they have. They're not incredibly high levels, plus you have the special hidden village buff. But these buffs are better than absolutely nothing. It's just, if you find players that have like high pluses on their cards and higher skill levels, you can get way better buffs from actual people. But these are cheap, and you get everything you need just to be good enough. So, yeah. Okay, so first thing I'm doing is I'm going to teleport to Horizon, and we are going to go ahead and let's see, set my return point to here, and here is a dungeon teleporter. I'm going to teleport to the first dungeon, Relics of Arid Moonlight. Used to be called Rome back when I originally played because ROAM, but now people call it Dry Moonlight Relics, DMR. I don't know how that ever became a thing, but I guess people thought it was one letter less, so it's better. I don't know. If y'all can even like understand the chat and read chat, this is pretty much the high point of the game. High level players just talking crap about each other and be like, no, you come after me and I'll destroy you. And I did not change my skill bar skill. Here we go. I'm so used to having my creature attack on that button, but I actually had one of my attacks on that button, so when I had to go press it, I had the aggro on me, and I was like, oh, crap. But yeah, so this is how you power level in the game. Like, every kill, basically, I'm gaining a level. These are like level 30, 32 monsters, and I'm just in here letting my level 190 freaking magic nuke pet just go in and destroy everything for me. And this is how you solo the game right here. You can get high level pets that are just ridiculously high level to go in and just destroy stuff for you in a dungeon, and you massively level that way. The slow way is to basically not have a high level pet and actually try to kill all this stuff by yourself or with another one or two people your level all working together and taking, like a minute to kill every single monster versus killing like, 10 monsters in a minute using this method. Now, the one thing I will point out to you though is that way back in the day when this started to become like a huge popular thing for people to do, and basically new players couldn't even be able to get into dungeons because it was nothing but low-level alt accounts with high-level pets basically taking over the dungeons and killing off all the new players that were trying to kill any monsters. They had to nerf it a little bit, so my level 190 Pixie right now is not actually able to use its full power. The higher level your pet is than you, like the more like massive basically negatives it takes to its stats. So as I level up and I get to be closer to level 190, my Pixie will actually start to grow more towards fuller power and will start to do more damage and everything. If y'all notice in my Master Breeder videos, the durability goes down like all the time, but because of those massive negatives that my pet's taking, I can farm this place like forever, and like none of my pet's gears are gonna go down in durability by any significant amount, like at all. Yeah, I haven't actually equipped a bag yet. Let's see, I'm pretty sure I found a bag somewhere. I had to have found a bag. You always find bags as drops here. Increase my max carrying weight so that I can carry more. That's the basic idea. But wow, usually when you kill monsters on Trainee Island, you get like trainee bags and stuff like that. Oh well. And let's have it. There we go. Now, I think I've shown you all the dungeons before and killing like the different like little bosses inside the dungeons and stuff. But here we go. Tranquilla is the first like dungeon. I'm not gonna say dungeon boss, but like dungeon mini boss. And my Pixie just made very short work of him. Dungeon like mini bosses and bosses have respawn timers, and basically the higher level they are, the longer those timers are. Tranquilla probably has like a minute or two on him. By the time you get into higher level dungeons, you're talking like a good like hour respawn time. This is to prevent people from being able to go in and farm them for like their boss cards. I'm pretty sure I went over that when I went over like when I killed the Baron Mattias and got like that boss card and like the Emmanuel Raymond both on like the Training Island video and how they both had like a 1 minute like respawn. It was honestly something like pretty quick, not that bad. But yeah, the next dungeon after this is the Lost Mines, and I'm pretty sure it's the level 50 dungeon. Honestly, I could probably go ahead and head there. I know that there are some, like this is the level 20 to like level 30, 40, like 35 dungeon, and then like the lower level monsters are like level 45, level 50 in the Lost Mines. I know of certain dungeons, it's like if you're way too under the level of that dungeon, like you can't even get into the dungeon, it won't let you. I don't know if the Lost Mines has that, so I'll wait until we're a little bit higher level to go there. But right now, I'm kind of just slowly making my way through, and by the way, why am I not using any of my wind potions? I should probably go ahead and put those on my hotbar. Just makes us run a little bit faster. Still have not found a better bag yet. Monsters will drop them when you kill them sometimes. Once you're carrying over 50% of your weight, your movement speed slows down, and then once it gets to like 75%, you start to go like incredibly slow. Let's see if Euphoria hasn't been killed. I know back in the day when the servers were like way overpopulated, it was impossible to be the one to kill dungeon monsters because like you would have multiple other groups of people just waiting there, just camping and ready to kill anyone that comes anywhere near it so that they could make sure they were the ones that got it. Now, you could be like the only person in the dungeon. Yeah, and you see how like I'm not even moving at all. That's because like I'm at like my weight limit. I'm at 100% weight. I cannot pick up like a single more thing. There is actually a couple ways around that, but potions tend to take up a lot of weight, and these powers tend to take up a lot of weight. Honestly, I should have gotten just a bigger bag from my I can't even pick up anything else, and I can't move any faster, and this is painfully slow, and this is the room where Euphoria spawns. It's like a giant Thaka, if any of y'all have ever played D&D. The giant flaming worm that comes out of the ground. It looks funny when it's moving around, actually, though. Like, when it's chasing you, it looks pretty funny. My guess is, well, either it's on the other half of this room and it hasn't loaded on my screen yet, or someone actually has killed it relatively recently. One of the two. Oh no, there it is. It's on the other half of the room. Yeah, y'all see that thing out there? You see how it actually goes down underground? That thing is like a dungeon mini-boss. There's another like frog that you can kill that's like another dungeon mini-boss. And then there's the dungeon main boss that's like over here. And yeah, when Euphoria moves, it's like really funny because like the entire ground around it also moves. And I'm gonna see if I can show y'all the animation while my pet tries to go at about like 1 mile an hour. You know, actually being 1 mile an hour is probably being pretty gracious. more like, you know, 1/1,000,000th of a mile of an hour, um, towards the dungeon boss to go piss it off. So here we have the pixie is getting all of the aggro in the room, except for the one thing that we want it to be getting aggroed, which is the dungeon boss, obviously. And now let's have it run away, run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. That is impressive. I don't know how it didn't get the aggro. Maybe I was too far away. I don't want to get too close because that dungeon boss will one-shot me just like my pixie will one-shot it. There we go. Got its attention now. Now watch this because it's actually a funny animation. There's something about the ground moving, but like the ground behind it being completely okay. Yeah, and look, like just like one shot it, like no one's business. All of this stuff on the ground, but like I can't pick up any of this loot at all because I'm already at 100% weight. But all of this stuff is trash anyway. But I wanted to show y'all that, and I wanted to kill it. It's just a thing. Yeah, I am about to have to go back, by the way, because moving at this speed is literally going to annoy me. And honestly, by level 35, you should probably be able to do the Lost Mines anyway. Higher level dungeon monsters. But I am already here, so I might as well go ahead and show y'all the actual dungeon boss, Abuva. By the way, with the soul pet system, Euphoria and Abuva can both be tamed as soul pets. And I'm pretty sure that there's also loot pet versions of them as well. So if you thought that animation was funny and you want to have a pet following you around like that everywhere, or a loot pet following you around like that everywhere, well, you can. It's just sad because like back when I swear this game has gotten a lot easier over the years. Like I feel like they've pulled basically a World of Warcraft here where like they've made all of the lower level stuff like so much easier than it used to be so that you can power level through it like way easier than you could in order to get you to the higher level content a lot quicker. And then they've scaled up the intensity of like the higher level content and made it like as hard and grueling and grindy as they possibly could. So once you're there, you have something to keep you interested for quite a while. I know that was one complaint a lot of people have about World of Warcraft. Like, oh, you can buy an account and like now your account is instantly like level 70 and you can do all the high level stuff, you know, and not even have to like learn your class or learn how to play or anything like that. And God, this is gonna annoy me. And it's like I don't even need to worry about putting on like any of this armor and stuff that I'm finding because like I'm gonna power level through it so fast that there's no point in even trying to level it up or get soul stones or trying to do anything with it. It's like I do kind of like the look of the wings, like just as like an aesthetic thing, even though I know that they're not providing that much of a bonus. This is gonna kill me. This is gonna be the death of me. But after we kill Abuva, then we can get out of this place. We can go back to the Hidden Village. I can dump all this stuff, and I can go get a bigger bag from my warehouse, and then we can clear through the Lost Mines like it's no one's business, and we'll go through the Crystal Valley, Shrine of Palmyra Plateau, and then I will start showing you all the quests. Now, Technically, the first part of the first quest can be started at level 50, and I believe it takes you to like level 70, level 75, which takes you like to the second quest. It takes you to like the third quest. But there will come a point where like if you do the quest like right at the levels that you're able to get them. I believe by like the fourth quest or something, you'll have to like go grind in a dungeon for like 20 levels, and grinding at higher levels requires exponentially more EXP. This game, by the way, does use an exponential scale for everything it does. So grinding 20 levels when you're like level 30 to level 50 in a dungeon compared to grinding level 70 to like level 90 in a dungeon compared to like 100 to like level 120 in a dungeon. Like you're gonna get from level 30 to level 50 really quick. From like level 100 to like level 120 can take you like forever. So it's recommended that you wait an extra 10 to 15 levels after the minimum level to start, because the story quest will give you so much EXP. I walked the wrong way. You know what? I'm sorry. I walked the wrong way. I'm looking at my map right now, and I'm like, oh, I needed to go this other way in order to even reach this dungeon boss. You know what? I forgot that they actually, yeah, you see, my brain is still stuck in like the old days where you couldn't use mounts in a dungeon. Like it just wouldn't let you. It would say you can't use that skill here. And at some point they got rid of that thing and just started allowing you to use mounts in a dungeon. And that's probably like the only good thing about them right now. I'm trying to see where I'm even trying to go to get to this place, because that's taking me all the way over there. Okay, fine, we're gonna go up this way. By the way, Rain Man, thank you very much for the suggestion, because like my brain was just definitely not there. I'm over here just like getting this full nostalgia rush of this game, and I'm like how it used to be. I used to play with my friends, and of course we had nothing good like at all. I played a DM, we had a cleric, and we also had a holy warrior, and we had pets. Like we were like level 20, and our pets were like level 10. You know, we couldn't even get our pets to level up, and we're over here taking like 3 or 4 minutes to kill like a single monster and having to split the EXP and the drops among us. And no matter how much our holy warrior would try to tank, I would use leveled down skills, and I would still collect all of the aggro, and the cleric would be doing their best to keep me alive while I'm being one shot by everything and running around in circles, yelling help me, and it was the good times of gaming. But now it's just like you come in here and you're like, yeah, dungeon bosses, like that's a thing, I guess. They used to be annoying too, because like I remember when they first had permanent mounts and sell in the cash shop, and that was like never a thing. And they're like, oh hey, you can now buy a permanent mount in the cash shop, and it will always be yours. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And I got this like permanent white Lydian that gave you like 280 movement speed. And then I found out after I purchased it, which of course you have to use like actual real world money in the cash shop, that you couldn't use them in dungeons. And the biggest problem I had was that since I didn't have any good movement speed gear, anytime I was in like a dungeon party or something, I was being left behind by like everyone, because they're like, oh, you have to use movement speed gear, and I'm like, yeah, but that costs like money, and I don't got money, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm gonna have this mount, and I'm never gonna have a problem, and then boom, you can't use the mount in a dungeon, and then I just, yeah. But as y'all see here, if you are attacked by a monster while you're on a mount, you can take falling damage. It'll desummon your mount, and you'll be stunned temporarily. But I have a pet that can like nuke everything and heal me up, so I don't really care too much. But definitely, that used to be like life or death right there. Oh my god, don't even get me started on being stuck at level friggin' 90. Um, so what really sucked is I was playing a Dark Magician, and I was trying to go through the quests and do everything, and back then it was like the only way you're getting into a dungeon party is if you have like a level 150 pet, you know, at like level 50, and it has like good gear and everything, and people were going crazy over having to have high level pets to get into a good dungeon party. Um, Unless you were a cleric, because people valued healing, so clerics could get away with having like same level pets. So my friends that were playing like healing classes and tanks were able to get into dungeon parties. But as a dark magician, people are like, nah, f you. If you don't have a high level pet, you know, you ain't. I'm not gonna say that word right now. But yeah, anyways, so this is Apuva. This is the actual dungeon boss, the biggest bad of this dungeon. Looks pretty terrifying, actually. Has like this whole skeleton on his tail going on, surrounded by all these like little other monsters. And now we're just gonna turn him into nothing before he turns us into nothing. I mean, he literally has a statue of himself in his royal throne room. How more narcissistic can you get? But yeah, that was the dungeon boss of the first dungeon in the game. Now let's go ahead and... can you use this? No, you can't use anything when you're on a mount. No, come on, I'm not clicking in the game. I'm clicking to use the ticket. Okay. Okay, this is much better. Like, you know, I think that my one biggest pet peeve in any video game is not having movement speed. It is the absolute worst. I don't care if it's League of Legends, I don't care if it's an MMO, I don't care if it's like Minecraft and you're running away from skeletons and you don't have any food so you can't sprint. Not having movement speed is like the absolute worst. Here, let's get rid of some of this stuff, and then let me look for a better bag. I have years worth of garbage in this warehouse. I guarantee I have a better bag. Here, max weight 9,000. Look at this. And I have to wait until this goes away from 100% before I can put anything else in my bag, because I'm at 11,000 weight out of 9,400. Isn't that awesome? Okay. And all of a sudden, my 93% weight. Again, I'm on a mount. You can't do anything when you're on a mount. Well, fine. I'll do it that way too. Now it becomes 53% weight, which is, you know, still kind of heavy, but not nearly as bad. Okay, use the warehouse. Ooh, I only have 43 slots remaining. Honestly, I need to just go to a merchant and like NPC all of this stuff for the tiny amount of rupees it's going to give me, because I'm about to literally fill up my warehouse. But I'm too lazy right now. Flat out. Now I'm only at like 9%, so it's not that bad, but I know it'll fill up again like rather quick. Okay. Yeah, well, so if I had anything that I really needed, by the way, earlier I was talking about how this stuff isn't losing durability. It's at like 239 durability of 239 durability 2,834 of like 3,000, and this stuff wasn't even like max durability when I put it on. That's only lost like 1 durability. Yeah, my Pixie's not dealing nearly enough damage out of its normal damage output for me to really need to worry about having to like recharge my ethereal. As far as dismantling goes, that actually costs money in order to dismantle stuff compared to just destroying it and deleting it, and I'm not wasting my money on that right now. Yeah, you can get extreme powers, and extreme powers are like a gamble. Because, like, you combine them with other stuff to make skill cards or to make, like, special potions that you can sell. But that takes a lot, and I mean a lot of money for it to actually be worth it in the end. I mean, I've spent, like, hundreds of millions on creating, like, superior, like, wind potions, like, max-level wind potions to try and sell. And I'm just like, not right now. But yeah, right now it'll just stay in my warehouse. But honestly, I can always collect junk. By the way, I'm really tired of people that do this. They're just scamming websites that promise you that you can buy, you know, in-game rupees from them for like a tiny bit of cash, so it's cheaper to go through them than to go through the official cash shop to buy items and then sell those items. And the moment you give them your like account information or whatever, and they like hack into it and they steal everything from you. And then when you go crying and all chatting about it, and then like the game devs are like, yeah, well, you shouldn't have supported them, so like, you know, get effed. And that has happened so many times. The cycle continues, and it doesn't matter how many times you try to, yeah, and they stand like this so you can't even click them to like mute them. You have like all these other characters in the way, and it's like, do I really want to have to type in all these like random letters and everything? They'll be back with like another name. Sad BFD, fine. No, not them. But yeah. And every time their characters get muted or deleted in game for going against the terms of service, they'll be back with like a million more different bots that just stay logged in 24/7, shouting and spamming chat. Okay. Now let's go to Dungeon Teleporter and let's go to the Lost Mines. So here, I'm gonna give you all a little bit of fun history. So you had to actually run to these dungeons in order to be able to get to them. There weren't none of these, you know, fancy schmancy dungeon teleporters, right? And of course, the way to these dungeons was like tons of aggro monsters everywhere. So in order to even get into the dungeon, you had to fight your way through hundreds of these aggro monsters that were higher level than you, trying to kill you, right? Well, apparently there was an error in their coding, so there was actually a portal outside of the first dungeon that would take you directly inside of the second dungeon, and it was there like forever, but like hardly anyone knew about it, so the few people that did were able to just keep using it. Well, once it became like popular knowledge, the devs finally fixed the error and got rid of it. And they got rid of it, and they're like, oh, hey, we're sorry for any inconvenience that this bug might have caused. We've squashed it. But, like, getting rid of it caused way more inconvenience. And they're like, oh, we're sorry about, you know, this teleporter never should have been there. We're sorry for any inconvenience that this convenient teleporter thing caused. And it caused a massive outrage. And there were people like, oh, we're going to quit the game. We're going to boycott the cash shop. We're going to, you know, we're going to sign these petitions to bring it back. You know, it's the only good thing y'all ever did was, you know, that one bug. Every other bug makes this game worse. This bug made the game great. And it was just a fun little, you know, storm. And now they're like, oh, well, you know, it takes away from the game, and it takes away from the skill of the game and learning your class and being good and careful play and, you know, the skill level of the game. And now you can just go pay an NPC to teleport you anywhere you want to, so that we can be lazy. So back then, like, having mounts constantly was actually a good thing because you needed to be able to run around everywhere. Now you just teleport everywhere. And mounts have like a fixed speed, which is like 280 like movement units, and that's the fastest they'll go unless you buy a cash shop item, which gives them like an extra 100, 120 movement speed. And that cash shop item is limited to like what is it, like 7 days or something like that. So even if you have a permanent mount, you have to keep buying this cash shop item like every week so that you can keep using it and get the like upgraded speed or whatever, right? So if you have a character that has less than like 280 movement speed, then yeah, having a mount is nice. It will help increase your movement speed. But the moment that you get higher level and you get movement speed on your gear and you have higher level movement speed than 280 because of the potions and everything you're using, getting on a mount will, reduce your movement speed down to the 280. But because of how quickly you can get from low level to high level in this game, especially nowadays, mounts are almost effectively worthless. Aside aside from when you're at like max weight and you can't move, then having a mount is actually kind of nice, but that's like the only good thing about a mount. Like 99% of the time, it's kind of worthless. Ooh, wonder what that was. Oh, Rayman followed me. Well, thank you. But yeah, it's really nostalgia that's just constantly bringing me back to this game. Like, I've tried, like, I know I'm going to be in the minority here when I say this. I'm going to piss a lot of people off. Like, honestly, I've tried so many other MMOs. Like, I've tried World of Warcraft. I could not get into it. I tried Final Fantasy XIV. I could not get into it. I tried Lost Ark. I could not get into it. I tried Riders of Icarus, and that's honestly the closest game to Rappelz that I have found. And it was actually kind of interesting, but I could not stay with it. I've tried Wizard 101. I've tried RuneScape. I've tried all these other MMOs out there, and I'm telling you, like, Rappelz is, like, unique. It definitely has its own issues, but it's by far my favorite MMO, and the only one that I've ever actually been able to spend any significant amount of time in, because I just get bored of other MMOs so fast. I don't like their mechanics. I don't like the way that their cameras work. I don't classes. It's just, I don't know. There's always something. And honestly, I feel like if they were to ever like actually like put effort into revamping the game on like a new engine, not only could that solve a lot of their bugs and glitches that have been and exploits that have been active for like years and years and years that they can't do anything about because they're limiting themselves with an old engine, they could also upgrade the game to like nice 4K graphics. And I feel like if they did that, got rid of their bugs, exploits, and they had better graphics, that this game could actually appeal to a much larger audience, and that this game could easily have like another awakening. And so just like how it used to be the best MMO back, like 2006, 2008, 2010, heck, 2012, when I was graduating high school and I was playing this game with my friends, it would be nice to see like a return of this being like the #1 MMO that's just unique amongst everything else. It just feels like a copy and paste of itself. So it's definitely been a while since I've been in this one. There is a dungeon boss called Primal Scream, and it basically is the Grim Reaper. It might be further down in like that pocket in the bottom right. I honestly thought it was in the middle. Oh, there it is. I was like, I thought this was the room it spawns in, and the moment I say that, the moment you speak of the devil, it appears. And, well, this one's quite literally. This thing is badass, and I don't want to get too close to it because I don't want to be destroyed. Oh, here, I'm attracting aggro on myself now as they're respawning. I remember being in dungeon parties and they're like, okay, this is a good room, but the moment the dungeon boss spawns, everyone needs to run because it's going to destroy our dungeon party. All like 7 of us together with our pets are going to get one shot at once, you know. And be like, okay, let's stay in this part of the room, and Primal Scream spawns right there, and everyone's like running like chickens with their heads cut off trying to get away before anyone gets aggro. And if one person gets aggro, the entire party gets one shot. Again, this music is just so dang catchy. Like, so back when it used to be G Potato that owned this game, that they were the publishing company, made by Galanet. By the way, Lost Ark is made by the same people that made this game. If y'all are interested, it's free to play on Steam, and it came out just like a year or two ago. It's a very beautiful game. There are a lot of similarities between the two games, but I didn't like Lost Ark because it plays very much like a single-player RPG. I'm told that once you get like high level is when like the MMO part really starts to come in, but until then, it's all just doing basically story quest after story quest after story quest, with not really much like grinding and much else going on. The pets there basically are just deco pets. They don't really fight with you. So you don't get a pet and a deco pet. You just get the one pet that acts kind of like a deco pet. But yeah, so if y'all want to see what they've been up to, go look up Lost Ark. I know it's popular. I know a lot of people like it. I tried it, and honestly, aside from Riders of Icarus, it was the only other one that I actually like played for any significant amount of time. I probably played it for like a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours, before I got bored of it. Even though I did like the class setup. But yeah, that was just a thing on my mind because they're the ones that originally made Rappelz. And what's sad is that when they actually were in charge of Rappelz, they actually cared. Their GMs were very community-centered. They had like GM events like monthly. They interacted with the community. They listened to community feedback on features that they wanted to see, things that they liked. If they made changes and people didn't like them, maybe they would revert them. Like, they were just like the best gaming company ever because they actually cared about the product and they actually cared about the community that used their product right before it got sold off. And it's, as I've said before, Rappelz has changed hands so many times, it's just not even funny at this point. Honestly, I went on a tangent and I don't even remember what my original point was. But, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And now I'm level 50. If I wanted to, I could go start the Red Farm quest, but honestly, it's probably best if I wait for another few levels. Because, again, it's faster to gain more levels grinding in dungeons at lower levels than it is at higher levels. Now, let's see, Crystal Valley, I'm pretty sure is like the level 60 to 70 dungeon. And then the Shrine of Palomir Plateau is like the level like 70 to 90 dungeon. And basically because the Witch Quest, the Red Farm Quest, will take you from like level 50 to like level 70. Basically, no one ever went into Crystal Valley back in the day. It was rare to find a dungeon party that went there. People would go to Lost Mines, they would do the quests, they would level up to 70, and they would just go to the Shrine of Palomir Plateau, and like no one would bother to go to the Crystal Valley dungeon because honestly, getting to it is like a giant maze full of aggros, and the actual dungeon itself is kind of like a maze full of aggros. And even though it's like really beautiful and has nice music, it was just like, why would you spend your time grinding slowly in there when you could just do a quest line to level up really quick and then get into a higher level dungeon that'll give you more experience and better drops. So that's just a feature. That's like a thing where like you could find dungeon parties for it like occasionally, but like most people would be like it's the most ineffective way of doing things. Yeah, so like if I wait until like level 105 before I even do the level 50 stuff, and then I do the second part and I start everything like late, then yeah, instead of going from like level 50 to 70 and like level like 70 to like level 100 and then having to grind to like level 120 to go from like level 120 to 135 and then or like to level 140 or something like that, you just start it later because they give you so many millions of EXP. Um, Now, what's funny is when they first introduced the master classes, I believe you only had to be level 120 in order to get your master class. So I became my master class at like level 120, level 125, somewhere around that, right? Well, I took like a 2 to 3 year hiatus from the game and I came back, and now you have to be like level 140, level 145 to be your master class. So I'm over here as like a level 120 at my master class, which is now physically impossible in the game to get your master class at that level. So I'm talking to people, I'm making friends, like, oh, what class are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm a master breeder. And they're like, cool, what level are you? I'm like, well, I'm a level 120. And they're like, no, you're just like a regular breeder then. You're like a soul breeder. You're not an actual master breeder. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I did the master class trials. I'm like, no, you can't do that until like level 140. And I'm like, no, I did it like level 120, level 130. I don't know what y'all are talking about. And then they're like, no, they made changes to the game back like forever ago. You can't do that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't play the game since forever ago. So that was fun. But yeah, honestly, I'm already like level 54. I should probably just go ahead and go to the Crystal Valley. It's like level 60, level 70 monsters. I think the highest end are like level 80. I'll probably start getting more EXP there than I will here. But I'm still getting decent enough EXP here. I'm getting like, what, 3% per kill? Those of you who have never played this game before or who are only low level and have never been high level, when I say 3% per kill is good EXP, understand that later in dungeon parties at higher level, you're going to be getting like 0.0001% per kill, and you're going to have to kill like 100 monsters to get like 1%. So yeah, 3% per kill or a little bit over is actually not bad. It's not something to be scuffing at. I did warn y'all that the EXP to level up does grow exponentially. If anyone's interested, there actually is a chart online. It's not like official, but basically some Russian guy back like years ago started documenting how much EXP it took to level up at different levels and made an algorithm and like started typing it in and like figured out the scale that they were using per level, and he showed that as it went up per level that it went up by a certain factor, and then went in to show how much EXP is needed per level. And it's just like, it's funny because like level 1 like 100 EXP, like level 2 like 500 EXP, like level 3 1000 EXP. By the time that you're getting like level 150, like level 170, it's like 1 trillion EXP, and like, 1 followed by like a billion zeros EXP. Like, it just makes these insane stupid jumps, per level. Yeah, I've noticed. Well, I mean, to be fair, it is a Korean game, but like, although there's plenty of guides out there, like and stuff in English, where you can easily read a lot of this stuff. A lot of the more advanced mathematics of this game, if you want to learn like the actual systems behind it, like the EXP leveling, like actual like chances and odds and statistics and stuff like that that have been discovered by the community. A lot of those are in like Russian, they're in Korean. They're in like every language but English because, I guess people in America and like people in English-speaking countries are not taking the time to fully explore their curiosity and do all this. Where people in other countries are like, nah, I got this. We're gonna go all the way in. We're gonna obsess over this stuff. Though, I have mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. One of the GMs of the game, Nagzul, who's been around like for freaking ever, and is also just an awesome mod. So shout out, GM, shout out. Made a bot on Discord that can actually tell you the odds of successfully taming monsters, successfully staging monsters, successfully like enchanting your gear. Basically, you go in and when you're on the official Rappelz server on the bot spam, all you do is you type in like what it is that you're looking for, so like taming or staging or like whatever, and then you define the parameters. I'm trying to tame like a basic tier pet. I'm trying to tame like a unique pet. I'm trying to tame with this, and I have like this level taming, and I have this level skill card, and it'll go in and tell you your odds of taming this are like 2.5%, your odds are like 5%, or I'm trying to stage this. If I have this pet at this level and this pet at this level, you have, you know, this percent chance to stage, but if you get this pet to this level and this pet to this level, and then you try it, then your odds go up by like 10%. So it's pretty cool. So if you're going to get into Rappelz, definitely join the official Discord and look into that. You can also add the bot to your own Discord server, which I've done, and I have a couple of friends. Well, I've had a couple friends in the past that have done that in their own Discord servers. And it's just pretty cool. You can go in and just spam it with all your stuff and just see what your odds are going to be to do things, so you know when's the best time to do stuff. Yeah, probably once I hit level 58, I shouldn't be getting 3% anymore. I should be getting like 2%. And we'll probably move to Crystal Valley, where I'll end up getting like 4 or 5% or something like that per kill. I'm just trying to get level 58 before I leave this dungeon. Here, I can't carry any more items. I'm already at max weight anyway. And my my little mount that I got on Trinity Island is now gone. So I'm going to have to get a mount at the Hidden Village. Okay, I'm level 58, and I'm probably pretty happy. Happy as I'm going to be. Especially with this movement speed. Killing me. Okay. So, I need to find where we keep the mounts here in the Hidden Village. I think it's the guide. I think it's, well, I think it's the adventure guide. So let's see if the guide is the same thing as the adventure guide. Yeah, right now they have like a taming event where you can get like extra percent chance taming. They have like one for successfully staging your pets. They have like one for like enhancing your gear and everything. They have like the regular monthly events, which they've started to add. Man, imagine if they had that stuff back in the day. Like everyone would have been like just killing each other for even something. Now it's just a... Okay. This is like non-stop. Okay, come on, come on, come on. I need... I don't know where it is here, so I'm just gonna go to Horizon, because I know at least where the adventure guide is in Horizon. Oh, this is painfully slow. This is painful. Right now we also have the team event going on where there's like boss monsters that spawn outside of every like village, and if your team that you're assigned to kills them, then you get special points, and you get like some potions, and you get some timed deco wings. I think I was assigned to Team Laxi this time when I first logged in. But they're like really hard to kill boss monsters, so that's something that you'll have to be high level if you really care to do it. Oh yeah, my point I was making earlier. I was talking about the music of Rappelz, and then I managed to get myself into a rant of just like the most random stuff. But yeah, anyways, the music of Rappelz is free online. I actually emailed their support back when it was G Potato who owned it, and I was like, hey, I like the music that y'all use in this. Yeah, I have to find. I'm gonna destroy some stuff. Yeah, I think it's dismantling cost, but destroying is free. I don't really care about the extreme powers right now. Only thing I care about is just removing enough from my inventory here. It's all these stones. These stones are like the hardest, or like the heaviest stuff, and honestly, they're not good at all. Compared to the cash shop stones that you can buy now, all the regular stones in the game are just meh. Oh, and I got like a 15-day deco pet box. That and the potions. The potions and the soul stones that you find are like the absolute heaviest things. Will take up the most weight of like anything. This is painfully slow. This is painfully slow. Like even trying to destroy stuff, I'm not destroying enough weight for it to be worth it. $16. I need to get down under 15,000. Okay, there's some stones there. Potions are good to destroy. $97%. That is good enough for me. I want to rent a mount, and I want to do it now. There we go. Go to Lack Trader and let's see. So I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna buy something, then I'm really gonna lie and I'm just gonna sell them all the stuff I don't want, and that's like everything. I'll keep all the empty creature cards, although honestly at this point they're effectively worthless. Now mind you, back in the day, if you wanted to be able to play this game, you had to get good gear. So like when you got level 20, you had to get good level 20 gear. Like you'd find stuff and then like, okay, now you need to get it like level 10. Now you need to try and enchant it. You need to make sure you have the right soul stones in there, you know, and all of this stuff if you want to be able to try and keep up and do anything. Now, meanwhile, it's just like I'm not even wearing any armor. I'm not like equipping anything. I'm like literally selling and destroying everything, and it doesn't even make a difference. But that's literally just because I already have a high level pet from my main that's doing everything for me. Once I actually catch up to that level, I'd better start getting some good gear and equips going on, or I am not gonna have a very good time now, am I? But I always thought it was a waste of money. Like, why would I spend millions on good level 20 gear, when the moment I hit level 50, I'm gonna have to spend like hundreds of millions on good level 50 gear, and then like once you're like level 80 after doing the witch quest, you're then gonna have to spend, you know, like billions on good like level 80, just so like when you get like level 120, you'll have to like, I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait until I'm like level 150, because back then like level 150 was the highest gear. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until I'm that, and then all the money I would have wasted on all this other stuff, I'm gonna put towards good gear for that. I definitely was like the cheap pack rat, like save everything I can, sell everything. Um, don't spend money on like anything at all. Although, a little quick history for y'all, just to show you how far this goes. The character I'm playing on now, Video Arfeek, actually was my main, and the first character I created was a Dark Magician, Video Arfeek, who I was playing with other people, and we already had a Chaos Magician in our guild, so I went Warlock, and then eventually Corruptor. And I was like, yeah, this is okay, but honestly, I always thought that the Chaos Magician was cooler, probably better in PvP, so they eventually released like the Heart of Homunculus, where and like the Heart of Rebirth, where you could like basically take your character and go back to like your first job and then change like what you wanted to do, so that I could just choose to go Chaos Magician and keep and stay like level 150, keep all of my JP, keep all of my EXP. It's like, it's a cash shop item, I'm not going to do that. So I deleted my character and I remade my character, Video Arfeek, and then I went through and I leveled him up to everything, and I made him go Chaos Magician and then Void Mage. And I played Void Mage for a little while, and really it's on me for not learning how to play them that well, but by this time, like, my main had already become my pet class. And I was like, I'm just going to go back to Warlock, because like it's easier, it's this magical debuff, it's damage over time, I already know it. So I deleted it and started over and remade my Warlock, and then really mostly just focused on my Master Breeder. But back in the day, I was able to do PvP with my Dark Magician and my Warlock, and it was great. Now, like, it's all like high level everything. And Void Mages are like the thing to be if you're going to be in PvP. So I decided to delete my Warlock again and make another Void Mage. So Video Arfeek is my main. This is like, what, the 4th or 5th rendition of Video Arfeek, probably. I keep deleting the character and remaking them, because that makes more sense to me, to keep doing everything over and over and over and spend money in the cash shop for something like that. And that's just a little history of my character in this game. Yeah, it's honestly a really beautiful dungeon. It's supposed to be like crystal and like ice and, you know, all this stuff everywhere, and it's nice. But very few people ever actually experience this, because this dungeon, the level of this dungeon was just skipped by the main quest line, which is really kind of sad. It's also, when you're not using the dungeon teleporter, it's like way more annoying to get here, I will admit. Really the only reason people came here is because back in the day, the White Dragon was like the ultimate pet, because it was like the only unique pet. It was the definitive best pet in the game, and it was the only pet that you could also ride as a mount. And it's a flying dragon, right? And it gives you high magical attack and huge physical defense. So it didn't matter what class you were. If you were damage, if you were magical damage, you could take it. And if you were physical defense class, you could take it. And the dungeon boss is the White Dragons. And this was the only place to come and tame them. Well, I say the only place. There's also White Dragons that spawn in like the... I think there's like a Dragon Island off of the Crystal Veiled Island. And I think in either Toa or Tolls, two later dungeons, there's also like a dragon you have to kill for a quest, but they're like higher level, so this would be like the more optimal place to come and tame them. And that's like the only reason anyone would actually bother to come here. Is high level tamers hoping to score something that would, you know, sell for billions upon billions upon billions and make them the richest person on the server with like way less than a 1% chance of actual success. And the empty cards themselves would sell for hundreds of millions. Oh, there's the gatekeeper. You kill them and you get to go into the hardcore version of a dungeon, which is just the same dungeon, but all the dungeon monsters are a lot harder to kill. And it gives you more EXP and better drops. Here, I'll show y'all what I mean. So it's like a little bit darker. They're always going to be darker because it's supposed to be like a secret hidden underground. And sometimes you'll see like weird like glowing circle patterns. And monsters will spawn more structured instead of random. They'll be they'll just like guard one area and they'll patrol it in groups. And they'll take a little bit longer to respawn. In a regular dungeon, you have the ability to like log out and log back in, but in like a secret dungeon, if you log out, then you're just teleported back to your city, I believe, your save spot, but you can't go back into the secret dungeon like that. Okay, my pixie needs to heal me before I die. And sometimes their bodies will glitch, and like the last one that you kill, its bodies will stay there even though it's like dead. They'll still like roam around until they despawn. I don't know if that's a feature or a bug, to be honest, but it's been here since they've introduced the secret dungeons. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, my least favorite dungeon has always been Palmyra Plateau, because it is like the ultimate maze of dungeons in this game. There's like y'all will see what I'm talking about when we go there, but like you have to have a map of it pulled up online, in order to be able to get anywhere. There's people who would literally go in there, like memorize all of the routes and everything, and they would play for like, you know, 10 plus hours a day guiding dungeon parties through them. And I mean, I could never learn that stuff, but that's just me. Like I talk about how this dungeon is a maze and how even just like the outside trying to get into it is like a maze, but really Palmyra Plateau is like the worst maze, and I always hated it. It was so annoying. Just trying to get from the entrance to like the dungeon boss, even with good movement speed. I mean, it just takes frickin' ever. It is such a large dungeon. So many twists and turns and like teleports, and I'm even trying to figure out like how I'm getting out of this little area right here. I think there's a wall on the other side. But back before this pixie was like, I mean, years before this pixie was put into the game, back way years before the soul pets, the best like tier 4 pet used to be like the angel. It was like the jack of all trades, but like, you know, master of none. But like it actually had solid damage output, solid healing, and like solid tanking. Like it could really do everything good. It wouldn't be the best, but it would be pretty darn close if we're gonna be honest here. Um, and I used to love go PvPing when I had my angel on me because like it wouldn't matter how much that people could hurt me. Like it would just like always instantly heal me back up from like dead to like full health with like a very small cooldown on the heal, and it'd do like a little bit of burst damage. And then it's like DPS like really wasn't there. It just had some decent burst. But like no one could kill me because of like how much like healing I was getting from it. It was insane. And that was fun. It was fun to watch people get frustrated. And I'd have like 2 or 3 people ganging up on me and thinking that they could kill me and everything, and then like, nah, I'm just gonna keep healing up over and over and over infinitely. It's effectively like how they animated Doctor Strange in the first movie. Dormammu, I've come to make a deal, just like infinitely times over until he's like, yeah, like it doesn't matter what you do, I'm just gonna keep resetting the timeline, and like you cannot win. And that was honestly how it felt, and it was nice. You know, I've gone through like when I did like the TP Jewel, you know, farming videos, and I showed you all that. Like that's a much smaller dungeon, the underground dungeon, than like this is like the full like full experience of the dungeon. It has been so long since I've actually been through this like actual dungeon. Like I'm having to try and remember where these different monsters are and like what the different pathways are. Because like the underground dungeons are like so incredibly small compared to the actual dungeons. If y'all seen my other video, y'all should have noticed that by now. This is way more massive than the runs that I was doing. And the underground dungeons are different from the secret dungeons. The secret dungeons are just a harder version of the dungeon with the same layout and slightly different colors. But the underground dungeons, you have to go through the dungeon NPC, and they're also like significantly harder, and they're meant for like a higher level. So like even like the first dungeon that we went to, where it was like level 20, level 30 stuff, like the underground like stuff is like for people like level 150 and over. Probably like level 170 over. But yeah, that's mostly it. Just running around here, and honestly, I could probably go ahead and go to the next dungeon, the Shrine of Palmyr Plateau, because I'm pretty sure that that's like level 70 is the starting. I don't remember if that one. I think you might have to do a quest in Rondo to unlock it. Back then, I used to do like every quest I could because I was trying to farm the Jin points to try and get a koala. Another story for another day. But I don't remember if that one was locked behind a quest or not. I know that the Spider Circus and I know that the Remains of the Ancients are quest locked. You have to do a quest before you can even enter the dungeon to begin with. And they're still attacking me. I'd like to get level 62 before I leave, just because I'm like already so close to leveling. I feel like I came from this way direction. Oh, hello, how are you? Is that Akayut? Akut? Hakit? I'm sorry, I am butchering your name. I have no idea how to pronounce it. But hello to you too. I'm glad that you're here joining us. So y'all will see this later in the video when I'm actually doing the witch quest. But it's funny because the very end of the witch quest 2 where you have to kill the boss, right? So I'm on one of my alts the other day, one of the alts that I deleted before I made this video because it's like, I'm not gonna mess with that character. I'm just gonna focus on this new one now. But I went into that portal to that room to kill that final boss, and I saw that there were 2 other people already there, trying to kill it. And the boss spawns a bunch of add-ons. So you have to kill it quick before it keeps spawning an infinite amount of other aggro monsters that will kill you. And they're just barely able to keep up with all of the ads, basically. All of these other aggro monsters that are spawning. And so I come in there, and of course I plan on defeating the boss by myself, but I see they're there. And so I'm gonna be nice, right? I'm like, hey guys, y'all wanna? So I'm typing in chat. I'm like, party for boss. And so they send me an invite, and they're trying to finish this quest so that they can finish the witch quest. And I go in there and send my pixie in. It does what it does. It magic nukes the thing to oblivion. And they're just like ... in chat, and they're like, OMG, thank you so much. We've been here trying to do this, and it's just... It was a nice feeling. It was kind of funny, too. But yeah, some of these quests, especially the story quests, they make them harder than they know that you'll be able to handle by yourself. I'm pretty sure they did that back in the day for a sense of community. On top of the fact that they just wanted a game that took skill and to play, that they didn't want it to be easy. They wanted there to be a challenge. So I remember back in the day when you had an alt account and you wanted to, do that, you had to start typing in chat, hey, willing to pay like 50 million for someone to, to allow us to summon you to us so that you can kill this monster for us so that we can level up and go past all this. And you'd have to pay these people, and they'd come, and these high-level players would come for money, and they'd kill the monster for you. Because there was no way you could do it by yourself. It just wasn't even possible. I need to find an NPC that's going to have a store to buy stuff from me, and that will be the lack trader over here. But yeah, it's as many times as I've had to get people to help me to do that on my other alts, it was nice to be able to just go in there and just pwah, and be like, here y'all go, y'all don't even need to thank me, y'all, I was gonna be doing this anyway. And I wouldn't feel right if I just walked up and killed it after y'all had been spending so much time trying to do it. Although, recently I did have to kill a dungeon boss for one of my quests, and there was already people there that were trying to take it down, and it just was not working out for him. And so I tried. I was like, hey, y'all want to party, for the quest, for this thing, you want to party together? And they're not responding. I'm creating a party. I'm inviting them. They're not, responding. So I'm like, fine. And I just nuke the boss and take it for myself. And I'm like, I'm gonna try to be nice to begin with. But, you're not going to accept my kindness. But yeah, right now I just need to get rid of all of this rubbish from my inventory. So it stops slowing me down, and that's really all that I'm doing. And then we're gonna go on to the next dungeon. See what I get from that. Okay. Oh yeah, and as I was saying earlier, and I think I cut myself off again, the soundtrack to this game is free online. If you look for it, the G Potato staff sent me like a link to it like forever ago. So I've had this soundtrack on my player for like the past decade, because it's just really beautiful music. They hired their own orchestra, their own like their own orchestra to do this stuff. Yeah, that, like it was really that simple of a thought, and like twice I allowed myself to go on like random tangents just without even being able to complete that thought. It probably doesn't help that it's already like 3:56 in the morning, and that I've, been at work like all day. But Dungeon TP, the Shrine of Palmyra Plateau 1. I hate this dungeon so much. This is my least favorite dungeon in the game. I have to be level 70 in order to enter? That is some BS. Okay, let's see if I get any good EXP here, like, at all whatsoever. I should have just stayed. It's like, what, 58.07%? 59, so like 1% per kill, but... I have to gain 8 levels like this. Yeah, so this one I don't think is quest locked, it's just level locked. Which I think all dungeons are level locked at some point. I don't know, I was able to get into the first dungeon at level 12, and it's like a level 20 to 30 dungeon. Yeah, okay, I am going back to the other dungeon because that's, oh, actually, wait, I wonder. Is the cube dungeon higher than level 70? I feel like it is. I feel like it is. I don't actually know. I forgot about the cube dungeon until just now. You have to be in a party to enter the cube dungeon. Okay. Teleporter, I want to go to, is it close to Devildom? I feel like it's like on the other side of the lake from Devildom. Oh, the labyrinth down here. Okay, actually that probably is then a higher level than everything else. His sanctuary, temple, yeah, okay, that was a bad idea. We're just gonna go back to CV. Oh, have to get rid of the aura of protection so that I can do anything. Okay, we need to gain 8 more levels before we go to PP1. And that's how people would refer to it. Used to, it would be like Rome, then it went DMR for the first dungeon. Then Lost Mines was always LM. Then you have CV for Crystal Valley, PP for Palmyra Plateau, Sank for Sanctuary, Tolls for like the temples. Temple of Lost Souls, Temple of Ancients, Temple of something. Um, then you have like the Labyrinth would just be called Lab or the Lab, and that's the Cube Dungeon. Because they're all golems, they're all cube monsters. Yeah, this is definitely a lot better EXP than farming outside of the other dungeon. And I'm only level 63. You need to find higher level stuff to kill for more than 2% EXP. You need to find somewhere that has like a higher like density actually. For more respawns. Why not mine? Oh, like why they didn't just call it mine? It was just called LM for Lost Mines. For Lost Mine. And then you always had the 1 and 2 because you have like you have the number 1, which was like the first version of the dungeon, and then the number 2, which is like because the servers were so full that you couldn't get everyone into the same dungeon, so they had to make 2 versions of every dungeon. 2 instances of every dungeon, so LM1, LM2. But I'm getting way more EXP here than I would in the Lost Mines because these are higher level monsters. Which is why I'm here and not in the Lost Mines. I was already in Lost Mines earlier. Oh, and that's like a baby dragon, by the way. That's the Evo 1 dragon. Anyway, let's check out my pet's durability. Yeah, again, like no durability. This is still a durability 187 of 188. This is at like 2704. That one actually lost a little bit of durability. Go to the next room. There's nothing. we go, 65. Go a little bit further in. And here we can go and kill the boss again, since that was only in the secret dungeon and not in the regular dungeon. This one won't have to wait to respawn. I'm pretty sure its respawn timer would have already run up by now anyway. This is only the 3rd dungeon. I know in Sank, because I was doing this the other day, in Sanctuary, the dungeon boss Arumas has like a 20-minute respawn timer. Here we go. Much higher density of monsters here, so way better for leveling up faster. Plus killing the dungeon boss should give some decent EXP. There we go, this is a good spot. Oh, there's someone else here. Honestly, kind of surprised to see other people here too. They're probably here specifically for the dungeon boss though. Probably either trying to farm his boss card or trying to tame him. Yeah, this is the way that they came through, it looks like. But this is just a good spot for farming. Because it's all high, like some of the higher level stuff in here. And it's very like densely populated. The stuff respawns a lot better. So there's constant killing. Here, I don't really need this on my screen for right now, so I can just disband the party. Dun, 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 dun. My loot pet keeps trying to pick up items that were left by the other person that was in here killing stuff. And I think it's like, what, 5 or 10 minutes or something like that? Like, it takes a while for you to not pick up your stuff before the server allows other people to pick it up. Now, if we were in the same party, then I could immediately pick it up. But since we're not in the same party, it's protected. yeah, there's definitely a lot of monsters around here. The boss will be well protected, just like it was in the other dungeons, but that's also why it's like one of the best places for farming, because the monsters will keep spawning. I won't just clear a room and then have to wait for everything to respawn. I can just constantly kill things over and over and over. And if I can use an AoE that can kill like 5 or 6 monsters at a time, then that's just maximizing efficiency right there. Get a huge spike. But yes, if I didn't have this pixie with me, if I didn't have like a high level pet with me doing this, then this would definitely be way too many monsters to try and take on, you know, at a fair level. And this method really only works because of the high level pet. Now, if I were in a party of like, you know, 7 or 8 people, you know, then we could definitely make it work. But I'm soloing, so in order to make up for all those people I don't have, my pet makes up for all of that. And for anyone interested, these world buffs that were just used by this player are cash shop items that when you use them, buff everyone who is on the server. And the buffs do this. This one gives you these stats, this one gives you increase to like all other stats, and the World Blessing gives you increased EXP, creature EXP, and better drop rates. You can buy them in the cash shop for cheap, you can buy them in bundles, and then when you use them, it announces to the entire server your character name has used that specific buff, to kind of give a shout out to you for supporting everyone on the server. Originally, they did it as an event to like kind of bring the community together, and it was only going to be in the cash shop for a limited amount of time, so people hoarded them, and then they ended up bringing them back and just making them be like a permanent feature. But yeah, now honestly, like it used to be a big deal when people used them. You're like, oh dang, it's like a very important dungeon party or something must be going on for people to be using these. Now it's just 24/7 they're up, basically. The moment that one expires, people are waiting to be able to click theirs and use theirs, so that we always have these buffs active for our own farming and dungeon parties and all that fun stuff. So it's kind of cool. Sometimes people will buy them and sell them in the flea market for a little bit of money. I bought some in the auction house before by bidding really low on them, and instead of paying like, you know, a couple like 10 million, you know, for them like some people ask for, just like something which honestly like at higher levels is like nothing. Be able to buy them for like a few hundred rupees each, a few thousand rupees each, just by bidding low on them and no one really outbidding me. But we're getting close to level 69, and then level 70 is only one level away from that. Here we go. Once we're level 70, we are going to PP1. And I need my pet to start attacking the monsters that are attacking me. That would be great. There we go. But yeah, to my point earlier, I have the free hidden village because you get it when you're leveling up. There's people who would be using stamina savers and growth potions that basically prevent your stamina bonus from being able to run out, and that basically give you extra bonuses on top of your stamina bonuses. So that, honestly... Oh hey, the boss has respawned. I bet that other person's going to be coming back looking for him. I could probably easily already have been like level 105, like level 110 by now. If I had been using those, I just was not in the mood to go and purchase them from the cash shop and really do like a true speed run like some people like to do. Well, it looks like I'm killing Crystalino now, and they're gonna have to wait however long for him to respawn again. There you go, I just forced my Pixie to use one of its AoEs because that's what really does the most damage. %, we are almost at 70. There we go, we're now level 70. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the hidden village. Let's go ahead and sell off all of the loot that's weighing us down. Rinse, repeat. That simple. Chip, sell. You. What the heck? Ah. My character ran away from the store closing it, so now I have to re-add everything in there that I added. Let's go ahead and sell all this stuff real quick. Get that out of the way. Okay, let's go ahead and do it again. Okay. Now let's see, I still have about 47 minutes on my buffs. So let's go ahead and finally go to the next dungeon. And get off my mount while I'm doing it, yes. So this dungeon is like the biggest maze that well, I mean, honestly, in this MMO, but in any MMO I've played. I'm used to, you could click on your minimap and it would like expand it all over your screen, and I don't know why they got rid of that feature. That helps a little bit, but not by much. But like I could have like the entire thing. But basically, as you'll see, oh yeah, that's even better. Yeah, you see all these like path waves and everything. There's like teleporters, and it'll be like, here you go in a portal here, and it like puts you here. Then you run here, and this portal puts you here, and then you run here, and this portal puts you here, and then you run here, and this portal puts you here, and then like here, until you finally get into the middle of the dungeon after going through like 50, 60 like freaking teleporters, and it's like the most annoying freaking thing in the world. And I don't know how people ever like remembered this stuff, other than just you know, always having a map up basically and like closing out their screen. Yeah, that's some good EXP right there. So like 3 monsters got 12%. I'll take that. And of course, if you take the wrong portal, then it like ports you back to like basically like the wrong half of the dungeon, and then you'll end up having to go all the way back to the beginning through a bunch of like wrong portals and then like start over again, and it's just crazy. I don't have a map pulled up right now, so I'm just kind of BSing around, running around randomly, and you'll see what I mean about these portals in a little while and like how annoying they are. The last time that I made an alt account and I wanted to go kill the dungeon boss, and I had to like look up the portals and I had to like run away, like run all around the dungeon and everything. It took so much longer to run through the dungeon than it did to clear out the entire room and wait for the dungeon boss to respawn and then kill it and keep farming there. Like running through the dungeon was the longest part of it. Here, I wonder if I'm actually, that's like 1%. I wonder if I go down to like the level 70 stuff, if I'll get higher. I know at like a point, monsters getting to be too higher than your level will actually not only like they'll gimp your EXP, you'll get like way less. But here I'm killing multiple monsters at a time, so like it's kind of still worth it. Like if I level up and like close that gap after like the next like 10 levels or something, I might get like 2 or 3% instead of like the 1% I'm currently getting off of them. I think it's like 20 levels. I think if they're over 20 levels higher than you, that's when you start getting like EXP penalties. Which much all this stuff is like level 90 in here. I know there are some parts in the dungeon where it goes down to like level 70, level 80 stuff. But so far it's pretty much all been like level 90, level 94. Also, I love how I'm still just a dark magician and I don't have any job levels and I don't have any skills when I could have already maxed out everything and then gone to chaos magician and had my second job by now. I've just been more focused on leveling than I have anything else because I'm trying to get to the content that I actually planned on streaming. And showing y'all how the witch quest and how the main story quests work, but you know, we're having to work our way there. This is all just a setup for it. Okay, well let's see if I can't just run around and happen to accidentally find the way to the boss room, because the boss room is going to have like so many monsters in it that I don't have to keep waiting for them to respawn in little small groups. I can just like keep killing over and over and over. Actually, am I even going the right way? I don't even know. I don't think I am. I think that's the way back to the entrance. Need to go further in. Oh, is this a dead end? Here we go. So yeah, you have these like different portals, and this is like portal number warp gate entrance. Like I can't even tell what warp gate entrance it is. And then you have to use the map to figure out like what warp gate you actually want to go through. And then used to, when you had dungeon parties, people would be like, oh, hey, we're gonna, you know, DP at gate 13, and that's the area that we're gonna camp. Oh, hey, we're gonna go to gate 7, and that's the area that we're gonna camp. And then you'd literally have to go through all the gates until you got to that gate number. Hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is an old game, but like the nostalgia keeps bringing me back, I tell you. Yeah, so that gate was a dead end. So we're gonna go back out. We're gonna go the other way. It's still pretty fun. Like, honestly, the base classes, the base mechanics of the game, I mean, it's all solid. Sure, the game could use some quality of life updates, stuff like that, but the base game itself is actually still very good. Can't tell me that this is like a dead end too. This isn't the one I just came through, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it's not. One of those two gates is like the one I actually need to go through though. But again, if you don't already know where you're going. Yeah, oh my gosh. You see, people like me, like our lives are like indebted to people like you who would like run all the gates, who would like go through all this because like my brain cannot process, my brain cannot comprehend like all the gates and like everything and yeah. See, like, what's annoying is, like, everyone knows, like, oh, hey, if you have a maze, just stay to the right side and you'll eventually find, you know, the exit. But, like, I feel like in this game, they intentionally designed it so that strategy would not work. Like, maybe that's just me, but I feel like they decided to go a little bit trollolol. Yes, okay, so both portals here are dead ends, and I feel, like, I don't know, I feel like this is rigged. Like, both portals are dead ends. So which way am I supposed to go? There has to be like a third portal around here somewhere that I'm not seeing, which is the actual correct portal. That's what I feel. No, okay, you see, I've already gone through that portal, and that portal was lies. Now, either I have to go this way, or that's the way that I came from. But I feel like I came from like the other side. Yeah, Epic 6, Epic 7 was definitely a good many years ago. I started playing back in Epic 3, like near the end of Epic 3, beginning of Epic 4, is when I started playing. I played bits of like 5, 6, and 7. I'd take like a year to 2 years off at a time each, and then come back and like have to relearn all this new content and everything. Okay, I honestly can say that I am good and lost now. I have no idea where I am. I have no idea where I'm going. For all I know, this is going to take me back to the dungeon entrance. For all I know, this is the way I need to go. I just remember that yeah, I feel like this is taking me back to the dungeon entrance because I keep getting closer to that dungeon NPC. So I know I'm going the wrong way. I just don't know where the right way is. I just know it's not this way. That's... So, yeah, Tanda. So there were a lot of people who really liked Tanda. You know, I started a character on it and I never got it to high level, so I never really got to experience the full like awesomeness of how it was. it was like hardcore PvP, and I was like, oh yeah, if you get killed, you know, you can drop things that are in your inventory, and people can loot you like you're, you know, just like another monster in the game or something like that. And it sounded really cool, but none of my friends wanted to play. And then when Unicorn came out and it was the first PvE server, and I was like, no, this is a PvP game. Why is there a PvE server? This is stupid. And all these people, including my friends, are jumping into it. And I'm like, I'm not joining y'all on a PvE server where PvP is disabled. I was like, that's where I draw the line right there. And then they got rid of Tanda, and they got rid of the actual like hardcore PvP server in favor of PvE servers and just regular PvP servers. So I think, okay, so like these servers have gone through so many merges, right? Because I know at one point it was like Lydian, and then I don't remember what it was after Lydian, and then it was something else. Sad BFD has been removed from your block list. So that means that they've finally been banned from the game. And their account no longer exists, so they were removed from my block list. But yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, but yeah, like Lydian, but honestly, I feel like it was something before it was Lydian, because they introduced the Lydian as a pet like years after I'd already been playing, and I feel like that's when it got renamed to Lydian. I feel like it was something before Lydian, and then I went through a couple more merges, and then now it's Reviac. Yeah, I've been in multiple guilds over the years. One of them was a PvP guild, and the leader had multiple alt accounts where he'd go in and he'd harass people, and he honestly was an a-hole. But I was like online friends with him. I didn't know him in real life, but I'd talk to him online, and he was kind of cool. But when it came to playing the game, like he definitely harassed a lot of people and like really overstepped the bounds of what you should be doing in a PvP game. And so it basically put anyone in his guild on like everyone else's kill on sight list, and really kind of sucked for me when I was trying to like DP and play the game, because like no one wanted or like, oh, you're in this guild, we don't want you in our party, we don't want to have anything to do with you. And having to explain to people, guys, I'm in there just because like I know the guild owner, like I'm like online friends with him. I'm not over here like him where you have like max level RAF debuff and your name is already always red and you have like a billion freaking immorality points. I couldn't afford all like the immorality soap and everything to get rid of that. I'm only at the first portals where there's like gate 13 and I think it said gate 15, and I tried going through both and both of them were dead ends. But honestly, I'm getting enough experience from this. Like, there's maps online. If I really wanted to, I could minimize my game and I could pull up a map and I could start going from there. It's a really slow process. But like that's the thing, is like all of these like walkways, like they don't have like an easy like like from like everything. It's like they're kind of choppy, so it's really hard to say, hey, here's where I am, or here's where I need to go, or here's where I just was, because like in order to get further in the map, you'll have to like run back to the entrance and then like another way that'll take you away from the entrance and then curve back, so it makes it look like you're making backward progress when you're making forward progress. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. I should take the right portal in this room. Well, that would be this one here. Did this earlier, and it just led to one room, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. So either I didn't see this earlier, or there was a third portal and I didn't go through this one. I don't know. But thank you. Because like I was constantly going back and forth between the two portals and coming up to like dead ends, and I was like, I am so confused. Also, I do apologize if I'm a little slow to respond. Since I only have one, I use a TV for my monitor. I don't have like a dual monitor setup, so I can't see any of your comments on my computer. I just have my phone running my stream so that I can keep up with any of the comments and stuff that happen on it. And my phone is, the screen's really small. So I can't always see like when another like a new message comes in. I have to kind of like pause everything and like pick up my phone and look at it. Okay, so let's see. I walk right. So that way. If that's not the way that I just came in, maybe it is. I feel like this is the way I just came in. But I'm not entirely sure. I've allowed myself to get turned around here. No, actually, this looks different from what I was in just a minute ago. This is a lot larger. This is definitely a different room. Yeah, literally, I'm just like talking and turning my camera in circles all around and forgetting which way I came from. And you're trying to give me specific directions, like walk right, and I'm like, ah, crap, which way is right? Hey, you have a lot better memory than I did, because the last time I did this was maybe like 2 years ago. But like, I never had this memorized by heart. My memory would not allow me to do something that cool. But yeah, so there's another portal in front of me, and then there's like another walkway that leads off to the right over there. Yeah, this room seems to have a pretty decent respawn. Like, I like areas that are, have a lot of monsters so that I'm not having to wait for respawns. As always, I like to just check, make sure that I'm not about to break all of my creature's equipment, but I really don't need to be worrying about that at this level. Oh, man. You know, you see, I feel like that should be a qualification on like a resume. Is like, yeah, I know the way through Palmyra Plateau, and people should be like, oh damn, like you're really smart then, and you should be able to get a good job. You know, I honestly feel like that is truly a talent, is knowing your way through this place. Although all of our buffs are going to run out in about 23 minutes, a little under. Man, are these hidden village buffs timed for like 2 hours? I'm so used to having like player buffs that only give you like 30 minutes or like 30 minutes and then having to refresh it for like an hour scroll and then refresh every hour. It's nice not having to refresh these all the time. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know that there was multiple ways. When I found a guide online last time years ago, they only marked one way to go through, and you had to go through damn near the entire dungeon to get there. Like their route showed you every single room in the dungeon on basically. I didn't know that there was like a quicker way to get there. Yeah, I'm currently getting about 1% per kill, so I'm gonna need like about another 30, 30 to 31 kills. Give or take, I'm getting a little over 1%. Interesting. I will have to keep that in mind. So the next time I make an ult to come through here. Left or right to begin with. Oh, hey, look. Another person. And they went up that way. A lot of times playing now, it seems like a lot of these dungeons are like a single instance. Because it's not like back in the day, like, every 5 feet you could find like people all over the place. Now you can mostly play like it's just a single player game. Unless you're, actually playing with people. Yeah, I'm getting about 1.5% per kill. I need all these monsters to start respawning faster. Yeah, it was fun having full parties. So, I don't know if this was a feature back then or if it's only something that's been added in recent years. But apparently when you have a full party, it increases all of the drop rates. So you're more likely to find rarer things in a full party than solo, or even with a party that is missing only one person to being full. So like when you're going through Devildom and you're trying to farm for like the belt especially, and all that stuff, if you have a full party, there's a much higher chance of you getting everything that you need than if you solo it. And I don't know if that was always a thing because I'd never heard of that before, but I've heard about people talking about it since the last time I came back, like last year. Yeah, it might not have been like that before because I'd never heard of that until after like the last epic with all the new pets and everything were introduced and the new dungeons were introduced. But it seems like over time all they've done is like speed up and make everything easier. I imagine they're expecting most players are soloing, so now they're like making the game to where that's more possible than it used to be. Which, honestly, we have 2 PvP servers and 2 PvE servers. The Reviac server is, like, the only server that still has, like, a population on it. I really feel like they should just merge the servers again and have 1 PvE, 1 PvP, so that it could help a little bit. Basically, the people on the other PvP server would be able to join a server that actually has people on it and not lose everything that they have. And we could use the extra people on Reviac. But also, they ended up adding a party finder into the game, if y'all saw that pop up earlier. Yeah, like, you have any idea back in the day, instead of having to yell, DPLF, Dungeon Party looking for DD for damage dealer / tank / heals, 6 of 8, 7 of 8, PM, this person to be able to join, and having to spam chat with those stupid messages for like 30 minutes until you finally get like a full frickin' party, and you pray that by the time that happens that your other people didn't get bored and decide to leave and make their own dungeon party or join their friends in their dungeon party or something like that, and just it could take like a good hour or so to get a dungeon party set up on top of the hour for everyone's stamina savers. And if y'all wanted to go a second wave, that's like 2 hours of partying plus an hour of like pre-partying. It was freaking crazy. And now you have this stupid little thing right here where people can join, and only people who use it are people who do player leveling. So they're like, hey, I'm going to go farm and I'm going to go solo this high level area. If you're within 15 levels of my level, pay me like 1 billion rupees and you can join me. And you can just stand in the corner AFK and I'll do everything and I'll level you up for you. You can go do other stuff. That's the only thing people use it for now. And back in the day, that would have been the most useful feature, but by the time they freaking added it, the game was already kind of on that decline. Yeah. And of course, back then, before the dungeon teleporters, it was also common for people to be like, okay, come on, meet in the salt mines. We're going to go run to the lost mines, from here. We're going to go as a group, stick together, stick along the walls, try to avoid aggro. And if you get one, try to outrun it, And if we get aggro on us, we'll turn around and we'll all fight the aggros, but we don't want to waste our skills and our stamina and our health. Out here, we want to save everything, all of our cooldowns for inside the dungeon. And trying to get to the dungeon was more dangerous than, like, the dungeon itself. Man, it's just... People these days will never know. The pay to win is like the only way to play, honestly, especially if you are a solo player, because, I mean, shit, you have to have Hidden Village, you have to have, player buffs, so you have to have a lot of money, you have to have good gear, good pets, good pet gear, with all of the high level dungeons and all the stuff they've added in now, like special like decos and deco sets that you can only get from like grinding in the game, from like rare loot that give you like 10% increase to like all stats and everything that like you have to have. People will like sell the ingredients you need to make these things, or like sell the actual decos themselves for stupid amounts of money. So you'll have to go in and spend like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of dollars in the cash shop to be able to sell that stuff in game for enough money to buy any of the equipment you need. So like if you're playing solo like I do, it is like nearly impossible not to pay money to play the game. Now, if you're going to be playing with a group of friends, like 4 or 5 people, they can kind of help with that, because if you think about it, if you're trying to do all this high-level stuff that's like really hard to do, and you have like 4 or 5 people, they only have to do about 20% of the work each. But if there's only you, you have to do 100% of the work. You have to work 5 times harder, basically. So you have to make up for that by having the best of everything. Especially at higher levels, it gets to be very, very pay to win, which can be negated to a point if you're playing with a group of people. So, like, if you get your friends to play it with you, or you find a good guild, a good few people you can play with, you can probably get away with spending minimal money, but you can go from having absolutely nothing to having everything if you're willing to spend enough money in the cash shop. But they also do it where it's like, oh, hey, you can get all this stuff for free, but you can only get, one piece out of like 1,000 pieces that you need a day. So you have to, do this quest line. You have to do like 15 quests every single day to get one piece of like 1,000 that you need. And when you combine all these, there's like a 1% chance that it's actually going to give you what you want, or you might lose all of it. And then you have to, restart your grind over. They make it so grinding and so gruely that you're like, oh, I'm just going to go buy the cash shop versions, which are guaranteed to work, or even if they don't work, they're guaranteed not to break, or something like that. Because a lot of the stuff that you need in the game, the crafting materials, they have special cash shop versions that work like a whole lot better than the regular versions that you find in the game naturally. Yeah. This game very much exists now as a cash shop farm. That's one of the saddest things about the game, why I keep leaving it, why people keep leaving it, is that they aren't really adding a lot of new features quickly enough. They have bugs that have existed for decades that they're just not investing resources into fixing, and all they're doing is all these cash shop sales all the time, and they're rehashing the same stuff over and over and over. They're not trying to improve anything. They're not trying to add anything new to the game. They're just, selling the same shit over and over and over and over. And they're like, okay, we're going to sell this special item for this week, and now this week it's this special item, and now this week it's, this series of special items. But yeah. And again, it's sad because, like, the classes are really well made. The actual mechanics of the game are actually really well designed. I like the base game itself. It really needs some quality of life changes. And it really needs some improvements here and there. I mean, heck, it's probably been years since this last epic came out. I don't know if they're making another epic or not. I mean, they probably will at some point. They'll add some new pets in, but a lot of every time they add something new and it's a new higher level dungeon, they increase the maximum level as people start to approach the maximum level. I will give you the worst one they have though. The best pet in the game is Hero Hector, right? Who does damage over time damage. But if you are a pet class, you can actually break the damage cap of the game, meaning that you're dealing more damage per second than the game's coding can actually like recognize. and instead of damaging the enemy, you'll actually heal them up to full health with every tick. And yes, to your point, private servers are still around. They're still the premier way to play. I mean, they have been like for quite a while. There's guides online. I mean, they're all old guides of like how to start your own private server, how to download private servers, stuff like that. But I never really got into all of that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that, you know, the newest pet of the game that gets its own, it's epic, it's above unique. It is literally its own tier that was created for this pet. It's the hardest thing to tame because they're aggros and like the Devildom dungeon, and they can like one-shot everything with massive like area of effect beams. They're hard to kill, and it spawns like multiple of them at the same time. And again, even if you're okay to survive all that and kill all that, the odds of taming it are just so pathetically low. But you put him on a pet class, and you know you get him his buffs and everything, and the game can't calculate his damage, so it just calculates that it's healing them instead of damaging them. And they've known this since the Epic, you know, released 3-4 years ago. I mean, it's been a while since this Epic released, right? And there's nothing they can do about it because it's running on an outdated game engine. You know, I think that we should, like, you know, start a movement on Twitter to convince Elon Musk to buy Rappelz to fix all of its problems. I think that would be fun. I think it's a good idea. Have him, you know, take charge of it and be like, okay, rebuild the game from the ground up in like the newest engine with all 4K graphics, and we're gonna make sure that all the bugs and all the kinks and everything are worked out, and we're going to, you know, really, we're gonna go into like the balancing of this stuff, and we're gonna make, you know, not one class be the definitive best class in the game, and everything else be subpar compared to that, and I think that's a fun idea. Again, this game is incredibly old, and it is definitely full of its issues. And if there were another MMO out there that would simply look at this game and make a unique pet system like this game would be finished. Okay, not a single person would play this game, but they don't. This game has a unique pet system that's the best pet system out of any game in existence. Riders of Icarus, which is also an old Korean MMO like this one, is the absolute closest thing to a competitor. And honestly, if either of those two games were remastered in 4K and re-released and actually got popular, like it could take out Rappelz. But I feel like most of the people playing Rappelz are honestly people that keep coming back because of the nostalgia, because of how good it used to be in its heyday, back when it had developers that actually gave a crap about the community and about the game, and that, you know, did things, and not ones that basically just tried to milk it for as much cash as they could in the cash shop while letting the servers dwindle to pathetic populations. So yeah, the game's still playable. It's not nearly as good as it used to be, but there is a lot more content, but it is incredibly pay to win. It's incredibly grindy, which, you know, can be good, but after a while you get burnt out on the grind. But I will say my biggest complaint about all the other MMOs I tried was that they were way too story-based. I don't want to watch stupid cutscenes. I don't want to have to read, you know, like paragraphs of dialogue like I'm reading a novel when I'm playing a game. Like, I do appreciate about Rappelz that you can literally ignore the story. You can just jump in, like I've been doing. You can just go grind in a dungeon. You can go kill stuff. You can level up. You do it with friends. You have more fun. You know, aside from like the main story quests that you have to do in order to get Masterclass, for the most part, you can just get to killing stuff however you want. That's actually not easy to find nowadays. So, I love the pet system, but I also hate it at the same time because, like, every time they release new pets, they're so stupid overpowered that they make all of the other pets completely useless. And then when they added in the soul pet system, they made the entire regular pet system be useless. And so in order to make the soul pets no longer be overpowered, they introduced the new pets, the Wind Pixie and the Hector and the Ethereal Pixie, and that just made all the soul pets useless. So it's like their balancing is just, let's make something new that'll make everything else useless, and then the new stuff will be overpowered, and then eventually we'll release something else that'll make the overpowered stuff useless, and then that stuff will be overpowered. It's like they don't have a balancing act. They need to go through, and honestly, I think they don't need two pet systems. I think that they need to combine them. I think they need to get rid of one of them, or they need to make a third pet system that has qualities of both of them. But we need to have only one pet system that incorporates everything, and they need to balance it properly so that every pet in the system has a purpose. Maybe some pets are going to be better for belt pets. Maybe some pets are going to be better as mounts that you can use to move around and traverse the land. Maybe some pets are going to be better for combat, but every pet should have a purpose, so it's not like, don't waste your money on that pet, don't waste your money trying to tame that pet. You know, all pets except for these two pets aren't any good, and these two pets are going to be expensive, so you're going to have to cash shop hard to be able to afford them. Like, if they could fix that, then this game would be, like, almost perfect. So, this game actually does have a story. It's just, they don't... Well, to an extent, they force it down your throat. But not nearly as bad as other MMOs. Like, if you actually care, you can get the story from this game. Although the game did not ship with Namaslavia, I think that was Epic 2 or Epic 3, they added it in. It's like the dungeon in Training Island that's the ghost ship. You basically learn that you washed up on Training Island from a great war, and that you're now an amnesiac, and you're having to remember who you were, and you're being told that there's this evil witch that was trying to basically destroy the world and take over the continent and enslave everyone, and that you were basically part of that great war trying to stop the witch, and the hero Hector was the one who finally slain the witch, but it looks like he didn't actually deliver the finishing blow like you were told, and that he merely weakened the witch, and now the witch is returned, and it's gaining followers again, and it's gaining power again, and there's this mysterious girl that's telling you the story, saying that all of your memories have been falsely written into you, that someone's trying to manipulate the story to make it sound like Hector was actually a hero and that the witch was actually evil, but the witch was actually trying to save the land, and that hero Hector was actually the one that was trying to corrupt the land. And then once you get into the witch quest, you first have to take the side of the Brighton Church, and you have to go and you have to fight the witch, and then it turns out that was only one of the lesser witch's minions, one of the copies of itself. And then when you go to like the master trials, you find out that the witch was actually being resurrected by the church, that the church was the one controlling the witch the entire time. And then you slay the witch, and then you have to slay like a zombified like priest or like something like that that's like actually the one that was doing all these evil things, and then you have to like kill Hector because it turns out that he was under control of these people, and like it's a lot. But it's like, to anyone that actually cares to read the dialogue from the important story quest, you can find all that out, but you can just like skip through it and you can never know what's going on. The game doesn't force you to, unlike other games where it's like unskippable cutscenes and like non-stop story. When here it's just like kill, grind, do whatever. But yeah, back in the early days, the White Dragon was like the ultimate flex in this game. If you had one, you were like god tier among men. People would want to talk to you, like figure out how you got it. Like, did you buy it? Did you tame it? Did someone tame it for you? Hey, can you lend me your dragon so I can fly around on it, you know? Oh, hey, have it kill some stuff. I've never seen a dragon's attacks before. I want to see the cool colors and AoEs being shot out of its frickin' mouth, you know? Like, getting on your dragon and flying away from someone was like the ultimate FU. Yeah, no, and that is like the entire attitude of this game. It's just grind, 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 and keep grinding, and keep grinding, and keep grinding. And that's the thing. But I remember back when this launcher used to have, like, every epic had its own, like, login, and you could actually, like, watch the animated stories and, like, hear the epic music and have the narrator telling you a tale, you know, for, like, each epic adding a little bit more into it, so you could really get into the story if you wanted to. But all of that stuff is so downplayed because it's just a massive grind fest. Still doing good on my durability. Actually, I don't even remember what level I have to be for the next dungeon. I think it's level 120 for the next dungeon. So the question is, do I want to gain 25 more levels like this, about 1% per kill? I could go ahead and start doing the witch quest now and see if I can't at least get that to get me to 120 for the next dungeon and for the Saint quest line. Level 105 for the next one. Well, okay, I haven't even done the first part of the witch quest yet, which is the Red Farm quest. With the Astral Believer and the killing the subjugation forces around the Red Farm. That one's the level 50 quest that takes you to like level 70. Then there's like the level 70 or like level 80 quest or something like that, where you have to go through and you have to go through a bunch of stuff and you have to kill the witch as like the last thing that you do, and that gives you like the full set of like armor and everything for like level 100. Then you have the Saint quest line part 1 at like level 120. Then you have like the Master Trials. Then I think you have like the Saint quest line 2. There's like a Veiled Island quest line at like level 100 something. There's like a bunch of quest lines that you can follow that will like massively level you up. But you don't even need like level 153 for your Master Class. You only need like level 140.